Yeah, so like went through university, played football there for 4 years. Life is all about you, and you recognize really quickly that if you don't fit into the jock community, you don't fit in there. And so I felt like I had to do something crazy, and that was kind of just out there. So I signed up with this program to do a trip. It was supposed to be with 5 or 6 people. About a month left before the trip, the group coordinator pulls out. She was quite sick. Well, I've already canceled everything. Like I've found someone to lease my apartment. I've quit my job. Like I'm about to pick up and leave for 6 months. They said it was okay to go, so I was still going, but now the complexion of my trip changes. I'm going alone, and I was just really mindful of wanting to challenge myself. So I was pretty amped up to go. Like we did visualization exercises and stuff before we went to help us adjust to the climate and to the people and to the culture shock of being away from home and every amenity you have. So I was pretty in a pretty good headspace as far as ready to challenge myself. My first morning there is this big Ghanaian women's church choir conference. I woke up the first morning at 5:30 in the morning to these women just singing out like I've never heard women sing before. A couple of them had fainted because they were so taken over by the Spirit. And there's women crying. So I knew I had arrived by that point. Coco was kind of like the center for my trip. That was the toughest part of my trip had begun. I was in the village living with probably about 500 other people, and we were one of the wealthier families in the village, but you got to recognize that rural life, like the more rural you get, the more poor you are. Like this is where you really see third world Africa. It's not in the cities, it's not even in the towns, because there will be like an internet cafe in the town, maybe if it's big enough, but it's in the villages. So my father and mother there were cocoa farmers. That's where a lot of the world's cocoa comes from. So I helped cocoa plant and cocoa harvest, and that was fun.
When you pluck the ripe ones, the green ones will be healthier. And then it will give room for new ones to grow. Someone? Olu!
Andrew, you're welcome. Yeah, I also want to say,
and now you're better behind you.
Oh, you're better.
What is a cameraman?
All the land belongs to me. All the cocoa farm belongs to me.
Invite everyone in the town to harvest. Everyone needs to help because it's a big job, and what they give them as wage is they just cook and have booze for them. And the booze is this sour fermented wine, and the food is always like yam mixed with water, and that's called banku. from the village I go to the north to Tamale to help out with a hospital there for the mentally ill. And the mentally ill are really, really, really sick. They're not looked at like mentally ill people here. No one wants to be with them. So for an incredibly passionate society, they are ridiculously uncompassionate towards their poor people. Like they will help you out and give you everything, but like a mentally ill person, they will leave as an outcast. And so one night there's this fire festival, and I'd been hearing about it from other white people in Tamale. We were a little outside of Tamale, and they had said, like, do not go, like it's not an appropriate place for a white person. And so I was like, but I need to keep pushing myself. I need to keep doing new things. I'd fallen into a bit of a routine at the clinic. What's that next step you're going to take? So I decided to go to this thing. You can hear them coming from a mile away with their fire and their chanting, and they're holding their machetes and everything, and they're coming towards you. And as they come towards you, I'm kind of hiding behind the building, one of the buildings, just kind of like looking out, maybe taking a picture once I have begun to dare to do so. Soon they spot me, and it's this very intimidating feel. But you slowly get used to it, and by the end of the night you're dancing with them, and there's just ashes falling all over and burning your skin, and yeah, it's pretty neat.
It's like flashing by the CN Tower.
I was wondering what you guys were looking at. I'm gonna pack another bowl, is that okay? From Tamale I go to Accra and meet this guy named Abdu, and so this was like the last week of my trip, and I was like really just emotionally in like a really shitty place, really lonely, because you can't escape this place, and it was like you don't speak the language, and the people there, like people say that like we're all human after a layer of skin, but and I really wanted to believe that, you know, we're all one culture, like we're all human, we can all relate, one world, blah blah blah. And I really liked that message. But then you go there and you see people that are so different, like the way they understand the world is different, the way they interact with you and what's socially acceptable as a way to interact with you, the emotion they wear on their sleeve, it's like constantly up and down. So you're just like, you're pretty frazzled. You know, you have all those elements. You're missing the girl, you're culturally way out of your element. You've been sick, lots of highs and lows, like had malaria, dehydration from food poisoning a couple times. With that mindset, I go to Accra. I need to go get some souvenirs, and you really feel like you're selling out when you buy souvenirs for people after going on a trip like that. And you go to these art shops, and of course they make all the things individually by hand, but they mass produce them. Kind of like a rape of a culture. It takes away the importance and the ritualistic nature of the statues, of the sculptures, of the masks. There's this one guy at the back of the market, a little bit of ways from everyone, in this small shack, and his name was Abdu. Abdu had like the real thing. and he would make a pretty penny from Europeans and North Americans coming over and being referred to him. I couldn't afford to buy anything from him, and I didn't want to. But I said, do you have anything cheaper? And he had just made these little pipes. And so I gave him the equivalent of like $2.50 for a pipe that he had handcrafted. And I said, do you smoke pot? And pot's illegal in Ghana, but he looked like a pot smoker. And he said, yeah. And then he said, I'll be back. And he went and he ran from his canvas. He opened up the canvas, ran through, and just disappeared for like 2 minutes. And then he comes running back, this old frail man, and he has this wrapped up ball of newspaper.
Sure. Where inside?
Fire inside?
Yeah. If you close it, you blow, you open your hand, the air come inside, see say it's coming alright.
Yeah.
I was telling you the pipe is eating now, the pipe is good.
It's a good pipe?
But yeah, you won't lose it.
No, it's good.
Pipe.
It's a good pipe. Do you live here in this hut?
No.
Do you have a house?
Yeah, I go house.
Where? How far is it?
About 35 kilometers.
Every day?
Yes.
Do you take, what do you take, Trotro?
I use bikes.
You bike 35 kilometers?
Basket.
Every day you bike that?
70 kilometers every day.
Feel good?
Yes.
I mean, you look healthy.
Yeah.
Are you getting enough to eat?
Huh?
Do you eat enough?
Me?
Yeah, you look strong.
I'm okay. I look strong. Man, I think 52.
Wow. You're going to be 60 this year. What would your diet consist of on a daily basis? Like, what do you eat for breakfast? What do you eat for lunch? What do you eat for dinner that makes you so healthy?
Okay. In the morning I take some porridge. Or maybe Lipton.
Lipton and porridge?
Yeah,
so tea and porridge?
Maybe I take tea. Sometimes maybe I can take tea. Sometimes I can take porridge.
Oh, well, only one of the two?
Yeah.
And then what do you have for lunch?
Lunch, maybe I can get some tunzafi, maybe some kenke.
Some kenke, yeah.
Maybe some banku.
Some banku?
Maybe some yam.
Nice.
Maybe some plantain.
Plantain, yeah? Yeah.
Then that's it.
But there's no meat in it?
Yeah, no meat.
Yeah.
Fish.
Okay, nice.
A small fish.
So it tastes good.
Good.
And then what do you have for dinner?
Dinner, maybe some banana.
Some banana, yeah. And that's all you need. Then you go to bed. What time do you go to bed at night?
For bed at night, I don't get time. I can go to bed maybe 1 o'clock, maybe 2 o'clock.
In the morning?
No, in the night.
Yeah, but so that
Maybe 12, maybe from here. Yesterday like this, I leave here 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
in the night.
when it's dark.
In the night, 10 o'clock.
And then you bike 35 kilometers?
Yeah. Canada, American, Germany, Holland, Belgium, France, Britain.
Wow.
All over the world, they come here to buy things. Even Chinese.
This stuff here? Okay. Because they like this stuff more than the stuff outside? Because it's a little different. It's older.
That's what I said. You know, you go all the market.
We start to talking about these masks, and he has one mask that's, you know, long and one mask that's fatter, and he's explaining all the meanings about the different masks to me. And as we go on to develop a trust, and as he gets more stone, we start talking about stories. As he does so, he's showing me cooler stuff, and he gets to this one witch doll. There's still some hesitancy as he reaches for the doll, which is covered in this piece of old like hide, and slowly unwraps it. Oh man. That's bad stuff, eh?
This protect again the bad spirit and they bring the good luck home.
Okay.
This one is a house you always protect. We call it Nemiji.
Nemiji? You keep it covered up because you don't want people just walking by and seeing it?
Yeah, this is real. This is the original piece. It's very expensive.
Very sacred. So you keep it like
Sacred,
that?
Yes.
Because you couldn't keep it out here because it's spiritual.
So how do you feel?
I feel good.
How do you feel here?
I feel really good. I like this country.
I like you
And,
also.
and then I like
Yeah,
this place.
because
You
we like
got a
Canada.
good shop here.
We like Canada, you know, Canada because Canada help our brothers. Canada help our brothers, lot of brothers.
Yeah.
They stay in Canada, they're free. Nobody worry them. So through it we see the Canadians, we love them.
Yeah, you love the
We take the
Canadians.
Canadians like our brothers.
Yeah?
Yeah, we take them because our brothers live there. Like my brother tell you, Alaji, if you come here, you see, you say, oh wow.
I thought I was going to come back and like want to just blow up every mall, like because my personality is definitely of extremes. I am more judgmental towards people's purchasing, like, and I make a conscious effort not to be, but I sometimes fail miserably. Because I'm like, do you really need that? And it's made me kind of rethink my goals as a human being. Like, what am I striving for? Like, is it a good job to have a nice house, to buy nicer cars, to like, is that the end goal with 80 years here? And every time we have a bad moment, like we buy things, or after we've worked a hard week, you think, oh, I'm entitled to buy something today. But like, why do you need to think like that? Because you need to buy something to keep yourself happy to get you through the next week. That is not the way I want to live life.